series, and I've been actually inspired to go back and read some other like Tsukimichi stuff, for instance, haven't been really updated in Alpha Police, but some other stuff like the Skeleton Knight and some other Isekai stuff, I've been inspired to go back and read on Shosetsu ni Naro, which is actually a really bad idea and a really degenerate thing to do.
What's the
But
new hot take on Shosetsu nowadays?
I don't think there's okay. I'm just gonna be very clear here. Anybody who I don't think there's really any person out there with more than half a brain cell who thinks that Shosetsu ni Naro in its current condition, although I say current condition, it is essentially the Japanese version of fanfiction.net, as I've said countless times, and B, the state of the Japanese anime light novel publishing industry slash machine that scrapes off the most bookmarked fan fictions on this stupid fucking site. I don't think anybody with a sane, rational mind with more than a couple of brain cells would say that this is healthy or good or anything for the anime industry beyond satisfying the carnal desires of the people who are into this sort of stuff to begin with, degenerates such as myself and Toast, right?
What?
Obviously, there
What about
are
me?
occasional times where you'll get some interesting themes. Obviously, if you throw enough shit at the wall, something will stick. If you have enough monkeys typing you know, typewriters, something will be made. But for the most part, 99.99999% of Shosetsu ni Naro is extremely, extremely, extremely degenerate. That's why I always say, right, stuff like Rising of the Shield Hero, stuff like Redo of Healer, stuff like Interspecies Reviewers was actually manga, right? If I remember correctly, it was like a smut manga. Um,
Probably.
uh, yeah. So Rising of the Shield Hero, Arifureta, um, Redo of Healer, Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, all this other crap. Keep saying that even that stuff is still
It's
the
peak
very
cinema.
yeah peak Kino, by the way, to borrow the phrase from the Zoomers.
Oh
But
yeah.
yes, even that I keep saying is yet the tip of the iceberg. Sagar Chan says, in chat, please tell me y'all did an episode on interspecies reviewers. We did indeed. And we did not have the most favorable review, like anybody sane would, right? So, just- yeah. So it is the tip of the iceberg. Even stuff like Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, even stuff like Redo of Healer is yet the tip of the iceberg. Again, there for every something like Slime Tensei or Vending Machine Dad or Sword Daddy Sakai or anything that comes even close to being a reasonable series, there are hundreds to thousands of series on Shosetsu ni Naro that is the equivalent of, again, the most vapid, not I don't know what if it's necessarily disturbing, but just stupid and noxious hentai smut stuff that you've seen in your life. Just the equivalent of oh, I like hypnotize my childhood friend to do sexual acts in another world. Like that's like there's 100,000 of those fanfiction, narou-kei web novels compared to what you see in the industry in anime right now. So you know it is what it is. It's for degenerates. Um,
If
that
you
being
love
said,
isekai so much, why are you reviewing
that
them,
is
by
not
the
what I
way?
said at
Aren't you
all.
reviewing them this season,
that
Spire, by the way?
what? Oh, what am I? What am I reviewing this season? Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm reviewing this stuff is that I don't like all isekai. But again, I think we covered this in the roundtable. But I do think that isekai is an okay blank box. It's not something to just say, "Oh, this is crappy." Isekai, egg. It's not that black and white like some people would have you believe. I think some people who rightfully have a bias against it, like again, someone like Nier, for example, right? The reason why they have a bias against it is because they would prefer not to roll that sort of dice in watching the 100th harem isekai power fantasy, right? Occasionally he'll scoop up stuff like Mushoku Tensei or whatever, right? But he would prefer not to roll that dice. What I'm saying is that for me, isekai as a concept is much like four girls in a school or four girls in a club as a concept. There's nothing inherently that is super harmful or super valuable in it. It is a blank box for people to deal with. Now, obviously, sometimes it can be a crutch, right? Or most of the times it can be a crutch for writers, much like how four cute girls in a club doing stuff can be a crutch here and there for writers. But that being said, it is a good I don't want to misuse the word good. It is an efficient construct for writers to kind of put stuff out there, right? So that's sort of how I treat it. Anyway,